How do I, 25F, tell my brothers, 29M, new girlfriend, 23F, that she's not invited to my wedding? TW, suicide, emotional abuse, infidelity. Buckle up, it's going to be a long one. Too long didn't read. At the end, when me and my fiance, 25M, got engaged, my brother Peter, 29M, was married to Tina, 29F, and they have an adorable little girl together, 4F. Naturally, when it came to sending wedding invitations, Tina got one and I asked if my niece would be the flower girl. All good. Literally less than a month later, Tina has kicked Peter out and filed for divorce because she found out he had been cheating on her. About a month after that, during COVID lockdown no less, Peter just turns up at my parents' house with the girl that he's been cheating on Tina with, Freya, 23F. At the time I thought it wouldn't last long, the wedding wouldn't be a problem. But it's now been 6 months and Freya is very much still around. My extended family, grandparents, uncles, aunts, people who are invited to the wedding, are all still under the impression that Peter and Tina are happily together because my mother wants my brother to be the one to tell them, and he has not. Now, I really like Freya, she's a lot like me in many ways, but I also love Tina because she's family now. I'm a very laid-back person and I really don't want drama on our wedding day. Tina has already made it clear that she and my niece won't come if Freya is there. Don't blame her at all. Peter, meanwhile, has been talking about the wedding whilst Freya has been present as if he's already invited her. Peter is not known for his reasonable handling of situations that do not go his way, and I fully expect him to either A. turn up with Freya on the day even if I say not to, B. demand Freya is invited or say he won't come, or C. turn up without Freya and cause a scene with Tina. All of which equals drama and awkward explanations to the family that I'd really rather not deal with on our wedding day of all days. Freya seems reasonable, so I feel like talking to her about it may be the best way to go about it, but honestly I'm dreading the fallout and I don't know how to phrase it. Any advice would be hugely appreciated. Too long didn't read. Brother cheated on his wife with his new girlfriend. Wife is invited to my wedding. Don't know how to tell brother/new girlfriend that to avoid drama I don't want the new girlfriend to come. Edit. A lot of you are asking why I still have Peter in my life, and the simplified answer is that I'm scared of cutting him out. He is bipolar, which is why me and my family tiptoe around him, as he has threatened suicide in the past and we are all terrified of pushing him over the edge. A lot of you are also condemning Freya, which may be warranted. However, Peter is a compulsive liar and very efficient gaslighter, and I sincerely doubt Freya knows the full story. My best guess is that Peter told Freya that Tina was a horrible person and he was miserable in his marriage and won her over that way. Of course, I could be wrong and maybe Freya gets kicks from sleeping with married men. Who knows? To those of you suggesting Tina is holding my niece hostage, she has made it clear that she doesn't want my niece to meet Freya until the divorce is finalized, as she feels it sets a bad example, infidelity, for my niece, and I actually completely agree. Thank you all for your words, the good and the bad. I'm reading every single comment and trying to reply where I can. Uninvite your brother. When anyone protests, tell them it's your wedding and to get bent. If your brother tries to show up uninvited, have some of your groomsmen explain that actions have consequences before sending him packing. Enjoy the day drama free with your niece and Sil. Also, if you are worried he'll make a scene, spend a few hundred and hire an off-duty cops for security at the door. Be blunt. Let him flip out. You are an adult on the brink of starting your own family, and at your family events, he will abide by your rules. Then you tell the groomsmen to keep an eye on this guy. If he shows up with the girl, don't let him in. If he starts bitching you out at your own wedding, remove him. Unfortunately, he has had years of practice and reinforcement that he can walk all over me and our family because we are all pushovers, and he is, quite frankly, scary. The more I think about it, the more I feel like hiring a bouncer/shusher/security person is a good idea, to keep any potential drama scenes away from the bulk of the guests, and us. I would tell them both they aren't invited personally. If Peter hasn't told anyone he isn't with Tina anymore, aren't there going to be questions? Is he really planning on using your wedding to announce his divorce, because that is what it sounds like? Please appoint someone, an usher, to stand at the door in case your brother tries to pull some fuck shit. I 33F snooped and saw that my husband 36M has been getting into red pill stuff since we had our daughter, and it's really worrying me. I'm putting here because I really don't know what to do. I've been married to my husband for 10 years, we have a 4-year-old daughter and 8-year-old son together. We're both teachers but have been mostly working from home since fall due to everything. He's also the assistant band director, so he has to go in 5 days a week for 2 hours. We've had a very good relationship free from many troubles, and we've been so happy together. Recently I've noticed that he has been making comments that seem on some level sexist. Not overtly sexist, but enough that after thinking on it you could tell it was rooted in sexism. He'd make comments about how some women we're mutual friends with were married to beaters as, and at one point he said beta backshore buckside, and I had no idea what he was talking about at the time and didn't call him on it. This week he made a comment that indirectly said that he was disappointed that I wasn't a virgin when we got together. This made me feel like complete shit. I used to struggle with feeling bad that I had slept with people that didn't deserve me before I met my husband, and this just brought of those feelings back. At this point I realized something was up. I know I shouldn't have done this, but I looked through his phone and laptop and I saw he had been visiting MGTOW and Red Pill forums. He even had a Reddit account that was 4 months younger than our daughter. I really am at a loss. I don't know what is pushing him in this direction, and I don't know what I could do to stop him. I'm especially worried that he might start saying things like this around our kids and turn our son into a misogynist and makes our daughter think this is how women are supposed to act. I really need any form of help. Sometimes when people say foolish things to you, a strategy I employ is, "I haven't heard of that, what do you mean?" Because then that person can't rely on their buzzwords anymore and have to unpack their prejudices right there. Usually they'll either realize it's messed up and quit, or get frustrated and quit. You should absolutely talk to your husband and try calling out the stuff he says, if only to acknowledge it's something new to you and not part of a marriage you'd like to stay in. You guys have to talk. Obviously you know, not us, if he has the capability to outgrow this. It's worrying as hell that someone with a family and real future is in any way buying into the MGTOW garbage fire. Maybe he needs to understand what he's putting at risk. The bottom line though is that you don't deserve to have this creeping into your marriage and him making you feel bad because 4chan told him so. I mean, I don't get this. There are men for whom nothing is going on, so they fall into this rabbit hole. Okay, he is a man with a job, family, a woman who loves him, kids, and yet he goes into this BS. Oh God. Referring to some men as beaters, lamenting about you not be a virgin over 10 years later. This is already overtly sexist, not subtlety. Blocked, as comments are going off the rails. Thanks to all who provided advice. Have a GF and had gay sex, please read. I'd got to do, I'm so fucking scared. I got absolutely hammered at my place. I live with my former boss who is gay. It was me and him and a couple of my work homies. We were in my room, I was too drunk so I pass out on my bed and they all hung out talking and shit. I wake up around 4 AM still pretty damn drunk, everybody gone, and somehow I'm having sex with my roommate. I genuinely have no clue how TF it even happened or started. I was genuinely scared and I didn't know what to do. I was just laying on my back. I wasn't penetrated at all. It was him getting penetrated. But I feel like I cheated my GF. I'm not even gay either, and now I just feel so fucking down. I could have told him to stop, I could have ended it, but I didn't. I didn't even enjoy any of it. So I just laid there and let it happen. I'm just scared cause I don't know if it was my fault. I love my GF to death and I feel so fucking guilty about it. After it was done, which I didn't ejaculate at all, and I told him alright I'm done, so after he goes to clean up I just fucking bawled my eyes out. it was probably the hardest I've cried in my life. I started sending my GF messages of how much I love and miss her. I feel so devastated, like I made the biggest mistake ever. So I go back to bed and I wake up at 11 AM and he comes in to talk to me, but it's more of he starts touching me and being all intimate and touching my penis. I was just so scared to say no. Mind you, I have social anxiety, so it makes it even harder. But later that day he comes in the room and does the same, and that's when I tell him I'm not into him like that and I don't want anything sexual to do with him, and he tells me okay, nothing happened at all and we're just friends. But I just can't stop thinking about it. I feel like absolute shit and I'm so disgusted. What do I fucking do? I don't want this to affect my relationship with my GF, and I feel like if I hang with her I'm just gonna be thinking of it and how bad I feel for her. I don't wanna tell her either because her biggest fear is having a BF turn gay on her. I can't even say whether I gave consent or not because I literally don't have a clue of how it started. Zero fucking clue. I just hope it's not considered cheating because that's the last thing I'd ever want to do. Ever. I feel so uncomfortable being around him now. All I wanna do is just hide in my room and not even look at him. Edit. Thank you to everyone for trying to help me, I really do appreciate it. I've just been trying to process what happened. I feel like it's my fault. How can he act so polite and like he's still my friend? Does that mean I came off like I wanted it? How did I maintain an erection? I surely didn't want it, but how can I still keep my erection? I just don't know how to think about it. I asked him about it, about how it even started. He said he came back into the room and I was falling off of my bed, so he picked me up and I supposedly grabbed his hand and pulled him. But the thing is, I remember waking up on my back. I have zero memory of any of that. I can't go to the police because there is literally no proof on it. He keeps saying don't feel bad about it, nothing happened at all. And then he tells me all he did was give me head and then nothing more happened. I remember him being on top. I remember that because that's when I started getting more into my senses, and that's when I said no and got him off. I just keep feeling like I might have made it seem like I enjoyed it, like I wanted it, but I didn't. I just feel it's my fault. I asked him about STDs and he said he gets his blood checked pretty regularly because of diabetes and he gets checked up quite regularly. I still need to get checked, but I made a huge mistake having sex with my GF. I didn't even think of possible STDs until you guys said something. I possibly could have brought her into this and I feel so bad. I really appreciate every one of your guys' supportive comments. I thank you all. I had no clue this could be considered rape. I think it's the fact that I feel like I did something to get him to do it. I feel so disgusted thinking back to it. I also moved in here about a month ago and I have nowhere else to go besides here. Edit 2. I just wanted to remind you, none of my homies should be called dicks or anything. They all trusted him because he was also their boss as well. They all left early and I'm sure none of them would have expected that to happen. He also doesn't work with us anymore as he got let go. But they shouldn't be blamed at all for this. Edit 3. Would this be rape or sexual assault, considering I wasn't penetrated at all but he was the one getting penetrated and was giving me head before that? That's rape. If you did not want it, it is rape. If you were not aware of what was happening, it is rape. If you were asleep when it started, it is rape. Your roommate took advantage of you. You need to get away from him immediately and talk to your girlfriend. If he couldn't respect your boundaries to start, then who is to say he hadn't before and won't do this again? Please get out of there and get help.